America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hey, if you want to participate, please say in. We have Dave Young with the Nazarene Church here that would like to come and say the opening prayer for us.
Pray with me if you'd like to. Heavenly Father, we thank you. We have this opportunity tonight to open this time of business with prayer. Lord, would you help all of us here tonight, all the ones who will have business, the trustees especially, Lord. They have a difficult job, and I pray that you would give them peace and pray to give them guidance, Lord. And I pray that what happens here tonight would be something you'd be pleased with, something that would help our community, Father, help the people in our community. And we ask you that you give us guidance in all these things that we'll talk about tonight. And we'll ask this to be done in Jesus' name.
Amen.
All right. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out here tonight and for our Tate Township meeting. And I'd like to give everybody a reminder, we have a sign-up sheet if there's anybody here who would like to talk tonight. We have a few things here we're going to be going over, so if you would, feel free to come up here and sign it as we're going through all this stuff. Right now, what I'd like to do is go ahead.
Okay, so there's a motion to accept regular meeting minutes from June 11, 2024.
I second.
Yes.
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 Motion to accept special meeting minutes from June 13, 2024.
Second.
Yes.
Yes.
Motion to accept special meeting minutes from June 24th, 2024.
Second.
Yes.
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 Motion to accept special meeting minutes from June 28th, 2024. Yes.
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 Motion to approve June bills.
Second.
Yes.
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 Motion to approve June payroll, EFTs, and withholding vouchers.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. We'll have a few new faces here tonight, talking from a couple of our different departments here. The first one I'd like to start off with is Mr. Chris Cooper. And again, I'd like to congratulate him on getting the new fire chief position, and I would.
All right, thank you. I'm giving a report on behalf of Chief Stowell. For the month of June, our fire and EMS totals, we did 159 calls for the month of June. Out of that, 42 of the calls were for fire responses. We did 16 calls in the village of Bethel, 19 calls out into the township, and we did give mutual aid 7 times to neighboring departments. We did not receive any mutual aid. Our average en route time was 1.5 minutes, and our average response time from tone to on scene was 5.9 minutes. We had 176 man hours for the month on those fire details. We had a fire loss for June of $23,000, and total property saved was $75,250. We had no injuries to firefighters or civilians or deaths as well. We did 117 EMS calls for the month with a total time out of 108 hours. For all those details, we did 49 calls in the village, 57 into the township, 11 mutual aid given. Our response times were 1.3 en route, 5.2 to on scene. And for our mileage for all the ambulance for the month was 2,895 miles, leaving our total for the year so far in ambulance miles at 20,180. Do you have any questions on it?
I don't. Okay. Excellent response times too.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Do you have any questions?
No, I don't.
Number 2 under old business there is Houck Asphalt completed the sealing and striping of the parking lot. We're happy with the job that they did. I think it turned out well. So it's a few days of not being on the parking lot, but it didn't cause any issues or responses or delay anything there. So I think it was well done. We've had some few issues on some of our equipment for the month. Thanks to Ed for lending Conrad to us to help sort that out. We had to repair the brakes on our 2017 ambulance. Thought it was just going to be at the front. It ended up being all around. It took an extra day on that. But that has been completed, back in service. Also, our rescue truck that we have was responding to a detail, and we had a brake issue. One of the brake chambers that went bad on it. And we had to get it fixed on site. We were able to get it off the road. It didn't affect any response or anything like that. We were going to. We were able to get it off the road, get it repaired, and get it back into the station. So Conrad's been able to fix that for us as well. We will be having to look at trying to put brake pads and drums on that vehicle here in the next few weeks, just because of the age of it. We're going to have to take everything apart, take it to the parts connection, have them look at it to be able to piece the drums and the pads to put that back on. But that's something we'll be able to do that in-house when we go to do that job. So, and then the 2013 ambulance that we have, we did have to get front brakes put on that, and then we still need to get the rear brakes checked on that. That just didn't do the time constraints. Weren't able to get that, but it is. Both those units are still in service. You have any questions on that as far as that goes? Okay. The 2 new tires have been installed on the 2017 ambulance. It's back at, that's when we actually found the brake, when those tires were getting installed. So those are on the ambulance and it's good to go. We're still servicing all of our hydrants for the month. The Tate Township hydrants, those are all the ones in the township. We've been going out weed eating, flowing, greasing the threads, making sure they're accessible, making sure that they are operational and that they flow. This is something that we do once a year on our end. We will not be servicing the Village of Bethel hydrants this year. They asked that we not do that. They were going to handle that. So we're only doing Tate Township. So we hope to have that wrapped up by the end of the month is our goal. The new dryer has been installed and it's working great. The guys that came to install it, they were a little upset because they had to cut the other dryer in half to get it out, because that dryer was installed, like Chief said, back when the building was built, so all of the door frames were put on afterwards. So they were here late at night finishing that job up. So that, but the new dryer's been installed. Any questions on the old business? Under new business, we had a small incident 2 days ago. Our ambulance was returning from the hospital and clipped mirrors with a neighboring department's ambulance that was going to the hospital there on Harold Road. OSP came, did a report. It was a no-fault accident on either side of the drivers. The central joint, they have cameras on theirs. I know their fire chief reviewed the cameras, and both ambulances were in their lanes. It's just a narrow section of Harold that's caused them to smack mirrors. It's something that's not uncommon. It does happen occasionally. We have ordered a part, so we needed a mirror and a light assembly that goes in that. We'll put that in at a total cost of $83 to get that back repaired. The ambulance is in service. It is not out of service. It didn't break a window or anything. So that is good to go. The other incident earlier, or in June, we did have our 2013 ambulance. We were en route to the hospital with a sick patient at the time, and the temperature gauge on the ambulance had started to take hot. we weren't able to complete that transport. We did have another mutual aid unit come to finish that for us. There is a cooling line that runs from the motor back to the ambulance patient box for the air conditioning and heating. And there was a plastic connection in that broke in half and dumped all the coolant out of the ambulance. So we were able to stop it in time, not causing any damage to the motor. We did have to have it towed back here by Williamsburg Auto and Truck. As soon as it was back here, we got the parts, we fixed the hose and the connection, and bought some antifreeze, and I think it was a less than $100 fix, and we were back in service within the hour after we got back here. So that is all that I have for new business.
At this point, we will need to go to executive session, to concerning the ORC 121.22 G1 and 5 to discuss the compensation of the employee. Time is 7:12. We will be right back. Mr. Cooper, would you like to come in with us?
Yeah. Guess it's more than fire more. I wish I was, well, that's totally different.
So state versus.
Yeah, state versus. Hey, Ed, Sugar Tree, county or township?
Which one?
South,
Township.
that would be the township.
I guess what it is, it's a ordinance. And then they have white, this look like that.
There are one. I don't
Or
know. I know that's been planned for about the past year or so.
Hmm.
Do that. I just took it all the way down. All the way down to, Cranesville House.
I don't know.
That's just,
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
On that road, I can't believe it.
we get on.
Not for you.
My son. And, yeah, I wish they'd come down. That would help the church out there too. Church right down there by, like South Campbell or Campbell, whatever you want to call them. That would really help them get out there. They're just doing it for that one section.
Roy's the road that doesn't.
Oh, yeah, thanks a lot.
Oh, that's. But then I feel like we were figuring out we were on Dale. There was some country and stuff on the other side. Okay. I don't know what it was, it's nothing. Nothing there.
I think you at least got the recording by there. That's. I'm just saying. I don't know. What kind of recording thing on it? You ain't go. Yeah. Real bad. Yeah, that's me.
Sometimes. I can tell her. I can tell you Shannon's very brave because I walked in there. Do my stats and stuff. Yeah. And she was still lost in computers one time because I always use it part time.
We got more in there.
She was still lost in it. You do that in my office. When you share the email. I'm sure. She had like 4 people. So it comes out saying and walk out. Right.
I hardly ever went out there. I like to hide in the back. Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
You do it.
Me too. Yeah. Every once in a while, it's like in between.
And then chop up your ceremony.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
You have kids coming in. It's the most sweet.
All the time. And I love it. That's my favorite part. Yeah. Yeah. You start to yeah. Yes. Yeah. Like I love it when I start doing stories and stuff. That's what I did when I was a kid. Like, my granddaughter was trying to say, very great candy and love it. That's what I did. Dad would be working. I'd go to the store. Yeah. So, yeah.
That's always there. We're gonna work at the area.
Same line.
So there. It's Friday.
They didn't want. They might have. And he brought them up.
You always have to have $5 to pay for
The candy store.
Yeah. That's what we need, a little thing. Yeah. That's coming. Just hold on. Yeah. That's what I heard. Yeah. It'll die down.
Yeah, we'll.
Yeah. And then we don't want that.
Oh,
Watch out.
yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, it's a joke.
I did mine do the other.
Oh, man, but you're so easy.
You went to the.
I was there like at 5:30 this morning. It was,
So is this good?
He's on.
Have you been to one of those?
yeah. You don't drink coffee at all? Yeah. Yeah. Dan told me when you lived the other day, I told Dad I had to go out there to Wednesday. They had to go to his house, and I told Dad down where he lived, and I was like, I don't know, I'll be on this road. For him, this morning. Yeah, what is out there? Oh, really? Okay. I can't, when I turned into John's driveway, I had to go right. Okay, yeah. Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah. I've never been out in that area. Yeah. It's great. Yeah.
yeah. That's the same.
That's when
I bring it on board.
Yeah.
I'm sure the trip wants that. I want this someone that person.
that's what I heard. Yeah. I know, I wanna know.
I set up a mediation. Wow. I don't know. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You said, please stop this.
Yep.
Yeah. 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 Maybe somewhere else. Yeah. 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 You know, yeah, every week, and be there for hours and be so much class. Yeah. So she's 2 years and 6 months. It always came in, always wanted crap. Yeah. Right. Yes, so where you have, that is, you know, that hours. Yeah, keep that. Yeah, that's what mom did. And you're like, oh, Rob, we're gonna start crying here in a minute.
I doubt.
Yeah, wait for the prayer and put it right around real high. And I'm like, yeah, I did. Yeah. Yes, I said, it wasn't my third, I swear. Yeah, you look like you're gonna bust out. It'll be my best for anyway. Here, I'll have
Well, here's the thing. I was out. She used to. Because she didn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying, yeah, he wants to know. She was, because she's literally.
That's fine. Mhm. There you go.
Because, yeah,
Coverage facility.
yeah, I mean, there's
We did a couple of like shoulder. Eric, don't you? You're supposed to take care of the crowd, don't you? Do any jokes or anything?
why do cows wear bells? Their horns don't work.
Yeah.
You really want me to tell jokes?
No, we're good.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Didn't that look a little?
Why can't you give Elsa a balloon? Because she'll let it go, let it go.
What's some real jokes?
Those jokes can't be told at
It's frowned. That's what I was doing during junk days. Every time there was a car coming with kids in it, I was telling these jokes while I was sitting in line.
I was thinking maybe donut jokes or something.
Hey, we are getting it done.
We are getting it done.
right.
Yeah, we're getting it done.
Right.
Somebody said you pulled over a little Debbie truck just to see what was in it.
No, I tell you what, years ago though, there was the Krispy Kreme truck was coming down 125. It had a headlight out. And I flipped my lights on real quick until it pulled over, and I just pulled up next to it. You got a headlight out, get it fixed. And I just kept going. I wasn't calling that one out.
Good choice.
No, I wasn't telling them I was out with the Krispy Kreme donut truck. I wanted to get out of there before somebody took a photo of it or something, me with it stopped.
That'd been funny.
No, it wouldn't have been. Oh heck, we're being recorded the whole time.
Yeah.
I know it should have been turned off.
Well, then when people know how to work it, or I mean, I can just unplug it. That's one way to stop it.
It works on my computer.
Does it?
Be like Barney Frank, go up and lead us in a song.
Is that right?
Is everybody? Let's see. Taco Bell.
Yeah.
Timing. Yeah.
It's not a dog. It's a racket.
No.
But it gets better. She says you'll have to help the HR. HR. Phone calls, they can't hire. She has a registered buddy. Stress. No.
Hey, yeah, okay, go on, just go on. No, you've already. We can switch the chairs out if you want to
Okay,
switch chair.
now look, when I was in school, I wasn't that kind of room kid.
You know. You actually showed up. I couldn't think where my son was.
Yeah, I mean, for some reason, they're like, oh, you gotta go to school. I'm like, really, really boys on the bus? I'm like, yeah, really okay.
I played football, so they said this. So.
Here, you got a copy of it.
If they say that, like,
I do. I
dollar lottery
bring
tickets on Christmas, don't you? By the way, that was.
We don't have no white people. That was my understanding. Russell.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, I was talking to him, he said it was one, it was. I thought he.
I think that's what Luca said. That was the one that set up their station 10.
Okay.
Was administrative.
Because he asked me, I sent the chief deputy, talk to them about, he's asking about all the crews or something. Right. Sheriff's office can go, I don't know the ramifications. County property. Everything else, I ain't touching that, yeah. He said they got a deal on this, Tate Township. I'm like, cruisers. Yeah. He said, send to my office, so I don't know. See, now you ride around style, man.
Door doesn't work on the AC low heat, you know. You gotta push the window down with duct tape and then reach inside.
It is what it is.
Hey, yeah.
Yes, sir.
My car, not my cruiser, my personal car. It ain't got to be in. Okay. Well, I paid $1,200 to get out there and get my car.
And he was trying to put it
Yeah.
for years, so he made
I got a little call.
he hasn't figured out for sure. Or he wants to put it in the driveway.
I had this about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's a salvage, it's a salvage title.
Did you turn down Route 8 on the left?
Yeah,
No, but that
business that you.
Okay.
it looks like somebody else.
And told it up on the insurance company.
Pretty gravel right there on the road.
They said out here, that call really had to go property.
Yeah. I know this guy.
Yeah, no guy?
I heard it might be.
Whenever I walk over,
Does it have air conditioning in it?
so he wanted
260?
call it set.
Down 60 miles.
Yeah. Both parts will be together. They're serving.
No, mine's a brush.
He's trying to figure it out. I mean, there's a driveway back there. It's not big enough for him to trailer. It's just we're trying to figure out what he needs to do or not do about it.
Yeah, and they need to take their tree down.
Yeah.
You watch it.
I'll have to go back in the regular session.
Second.
Yes.
36.
Yes, 36. Okay, next, report we'd like to move into is the street department. Mr. Stanley.
Okay. In front of you is the cemetery report. Had 9 burials for the month of June, took in 4 foundation orders. Sold 4 graves, all 4 of those were in Tate Township. They were residents. We had 1 Saturday open for it. We have picked up the curtains for the new shelter that we have. It's been great weather, so we haven't been using it, but we have put these curtains up to make sure everything works right and everything's good. I will tell when we get a rain and wind during a funeral, I'll be able to tell you how well they work. That's all I have for the cemetery. Moving on to roads. We're continuing to work on Moore Road, berming, culvert replacement, ditching. I have 4 township culverts to set there. We have been fixing signs that are down. We fixed the one on the 9-degree curve at Hoover the next day after the meeting last month. Going to fix other signs where poles are missing, bent. To be honest with you, the ground is so hard right now, we're ruining posts right now. So we have to have some better weather. I've never asked or prayed for wet weather, but that's what it's going to take. Unless I could get Assistant Chief Cooper to bring a water truck out and soak it down for days. Oh, okay. We set 30 foot of private drive culvert on Patterson Road, set 126 foot of township culvert on Vanwood Road in 3 separate locations. That's all I have for the road. Any questions?
No. Good job. I know, in the road that you, in the last minute there, but, I'd like to say thanks for doing that. I'll let you guys know that, you did a great job on it. Great.
Good, thanks.
Thank you for being so flexible.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got another thing. Well, I got 2 more things. Here's a report on the Township Cleanup Days 2024. We want to thank Trustee John Wilson, Claremont County Municipal Court, the Village of Bethel was a lot of help, and even Officer Pike raised a sweat. We had we used 3 roll-off dumps, 7.67 ton, had 8 compactor trucks, 45.83 ton. We had 3 loads of metal, 16.29 ton. Miscellaneous recycle, we had $651.70 in that 1 ton truck that we stripped. Compressors, motors, copper, radiators. It's really worth doing while we're standing there cleaning up trucks. It is a big deal to do that. Our price on the steel that we had with the 3 loads is $130 a ton. Township took in $2,117 just by recycle plus the $651.7. Total loads brought in was 373 loads from the village residents and the township residents. Total tons collected was 69.73 tons. Tires collected was 239 tires. And also you have the paper from last year. You can see the difference. We're about 30 tons short on trash from what we were last year. We're about the same on metal. So we are making a difference, I think, with the cleanup. I think that maybe the big item things, I don't know how all that works. I'm not a township resident. the big item things, I think Rook comes around once a month, picks stuff up. So maybe that's helping. I don't know.
Big item on it is, if anybody don't know, is, as long as you call Rumpke ahead of time, it's one item per week. Like with a mattress or something like that, you have to wrap it up in plastic or couch. As long as you call them, give them a heads up, it's out there. It's awesome. That was negotiated back with the contractor and Rumpke to try to cut down on some.
Did you want me to talk about the other thing?
Well, it's, I was reading my next on the agenda.
I'll start it off.
You can, if your department, you can run it.
As you all might know, might not know, we lost a good friend, George Eckert. Some people didn't think a lot of him, but the township did. He was a mentor to me. He's the reason I'm working here. He taught me everything about the cemetery. I knew nothing about it. He came to the house a year before I took the job, explaining stuff to me, helping me out, answering questions. I didn't even know there was a cemetery in the township when I took this job. And he took over. There's 28 acres of people over there. That before George, when George came, there was no record of anybody. There's 17,000 bodies there. There was no records. George took the time. Took him a long time, but he made it all happen. Where we can have where we have a record of everybody in there. When somebody calls, wanting to know where they're at, or knowing that we can place somebody beside of somebody, knowing that there's room there. He's just done a lot for the township. I would like to make a recommendation that whenever it is decided, when he gets buried, I would like for the township to waive his open and closing costs. As a small gesture for what he's done. I'm done.
Just to add to what Ed said there, he started the street department on October 1st, 1982, and he retired June 30th, 2011, which is 29 years of service. And then also, zoning department, the zoning inspector, he took from January of 2000 until May of 2021, 11 years of service. So combined, he's got 40 years of service here to the township. And like Ed said, there was opportunity there to make an hourly rate for him to come in and help Ed and Rob take over. And for the time it was for free, and just help you out. He definitely gave a lot to this township. So, you guys don't mind at this time, I'll take Ed's suggestion. I'd like to make a motion that we waive all the burial fees for him for the township, honor of what he's done.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Thank you. Good report.
Yes, thank you. At this point, we'd like to, hold on, I did, out of his, I missed a spot here and I apologize. You don't mind, I also think out of that, amount of service that he deserves and no silence here for his steps. Okay, the next part we'd like to move into is the zoning department. And, we were saying something here at the very beginning of the, meeting that there's going to be some new faces here, and one of our other new faces is, we already went through a little ceremony for him. Mr. Shelby Baird, that he took the place of Mr. Rob Williams for the zoning inspector. So, Shelby, if you don't mind, I'd like to come up here and give you. Right hand. I, Shelby Baird,
I, Shelby Bear,
do solemnly swear that I
solemnly swear that I
will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of Ohio, will faithfully discharge the duties of zoning inspector, Tate Township, Claremont County of Ohio during continuance
of Ohio during my continuance
in this office.
in this office.
Congratulations. Okay, now you'd like to give your report, please.
In front of you, you have my executive summary. Some new items on here that's not been normally being reported. For the month of June, this is calendar month. All my reporting going forward will be calendar month, not up to the trustees meeting. There were 4 new street addresses issued. I put 5 on there. 1 is actually a reissue. There was a problem with issuing at the time it was requested due to the parcel having been sold. The auditor's office can't process the information until their property records, until they receive the title company reflecting the new ownership. So there was a bit of a holdup and a delay on that. And I looked through everything as far as the process that's followed for submitting those addresses, and could find no record that it was actually sent because it took a while for the county to get the information. So they hadn't received it until May 22nd. So it is in process. I did have to resubmit that as a new address. It's kind of a pickle for the property owner in that case because he's already used the street address number that he was given on loan information. So it's kind of he's very kind of nervous about the fact that it's not reflecting on the auditor's side yet like it has in the process. So it's a little bit challenging to do. There's several different, there's 10 different departments that have notified of the street address. So just some back and forth trying to make sure everybody has the right information on that street address. So that's why on my detail log I show 4, but the 5th one, it's not completely reflecting it on the auditor's side. So I'll follow back up and let you know. For the month of June, this is in total prior to June 17th as well. There were 9 permits issued, 3 single-family dwellings, 2 pole buildings, 1 garage, 1 in-ground pool, 1 deck, and 1 carport. The next 2 are also new items. Since June 17th, when I began tracking, there have been a total of 25 phone calls to the office requiring action. 19 of them were voicemails with subsequent follow-up calls, a lot of activity there, and 6 were inbound calls answered while I was in the office. Also, since June 17th, I started tracking these in a manner in more detail to report complaints, violations from residents. 1 of them has been resolved, 3 are pending evaluation, and I know I say 4, but there's a 5th one that's continuing issue with this monitoring storage and situation at Banham. We had met with a resident to review some of the documentation from the land use change meeting that was done. I believe he's moving forward and continuing to evaluate his options. So I'm not really working actively on that part other than just monitoring, keep an eye on compliance issues and response. So is a complaint, but it's not a new. Do you have any questions on any of this?
Do not. Good work, Dan.
So on old business, I would like to ask the board if there's any items of old business that you're aware of that I may not be, so I look at that and.
There's like 4 of them that's been ongoing for quite a while. Patterson Sunset, Garland Road.
Concord,
Yeah, about Concord.
there on there.
304, yeah.
Yeah, you're right here about.
304 Bethel Concord.
There's been on.
They're foreclosing on that property now.
One on Solid,
Somewhere.
on Solid, Maple.
Yeah, 29.
Yeah, I had received a phone call regarding that property, but they didn't give me the address or anything. So it's still a pending log issue I need to get into a little further.
I think it's 2564.
2564?
Yeah, it's the one, it's the same one we're thinking of, unless it's 2805 is the only two that I can think of.
Is that out by Meisman?
It's the first.
Yeah, it's one near closest to me, the Meetsman there. 2564 is all there, man.
All right, thank you for that. We'll make correspondence about some of those addresses. Yeah, there's not been able to find a great deal of record. I need to get Rob and bring some more about this complaints, get a handoff on that information. There's a lot to do in a very short amount of time.
Right.
The other item of old business was variance number 1740 RW was unanimously approved by the EPA for Mr. Becker Milton. 2018 EPA variance. So that was approved. He'll be moving forward with his clearing and construction process. The variance had to do with road frontage and property buffer. One side is retreated into the buffer a little bit to be able to fit the property, and it was about 8 feet short of the 100 road frontage. Yeah. Do you have anything else on old business or any questions?
I have any questions.
On new business, I gave to Kathy a application. I was invited to join the Clermont County Township Association as a member. So I submitted that application to her. I'll approve that as $35 membership. I was invited by the current secretary of the Township Association. Said that no one, the township zoning member of that association. Really valuable for us to be able to share knowledge and network and information regarding zoning with other county.
And what association was this?
The Clermont County Township Association. I think that she had said it, I'm sure that knew that the zoning inspectors would be a member of the township.
I can recommend you, annual membership to Township Association. So there's, yes.
Some other items for discussion in the new business, some zoning issues. Well, probably good to them, something that I even topic, but, there have been 2 call situations that came up this month since June 17th, where I was asked to, if a possibility of having a camper on a home site, as while they're doing construction on a home. Not to be a principal residence, but that they just want to, larger parcels and they want to be able to stay out on the property, clear trees, work on that process, ahead of their new home construction, like a year, and they're just looking at the options. One is a current property owner, and the other was a potential owner looking at some property to purchase in the township, and we called in asking if that's something that's allowed. And I so currently not directly know, but it's also again not unambiguous to specify that it's not an allowable use for somebody to their property. So, as we've been visiting zoning language, I just wanted to put this as a topic for discussion. We can evaluate, some sort of a temporary permit or make it a rider onto this thing, new single family dwelling permit to say that this is going to be an allowable use with monitoring and maintenance. To say you have maybe up to the period of your permit before it expires, you're going to renew it. You have to stay involved with this, but you're not going to just move a camper onto your property with it. They are 12 months from the issue date before they expire. And the way I understand that is the permit may expire, but if principal construction for the permit has started before the expiration date, they have up to 1 year before they would have to reapply for it. As long as they have started the construction before the permit expires.
Would you want it to be its own permit or just sort of paired with
Given our square footage requirements, and not trying to introduce a loophole or a bypass, I think it would be more sensible to have it be a dependent condition on the issuance of the building permit. They have to submit plans, site plan, where they're going to put their driveway, some of those kind of things. It's kind of complicated because they have to get a street address before they can get utilities. So they already have to have been issued a street address, which, is kind of a precursor to occupancy anyway. So, instead of introducing a cavalier approach to this, well, I'm just gonna do it anyway and see if I get caught, but, let's formalize, and other things to work on to, put this into controlled conditions, as opposed to, just my land or do whatever I want. But, well, that's fine, but, your neighbors have, they don't want somebody having a campsite on the property next door forever.
Alright, that's something we have to take into consideration with this. I think it makes sense to have to take consideration about once they're in there. Obviously, we have to have a timeline, a time period to be out there. Once they're in, it's hard to get them out.
I think some of the stuff like they have plans and all stuff, they have to address the plans.
This data, we can admit it to what we have, this versus if we make something on its own process.
That's what I was just about to ask, do we need to amend the zoning code? Or is there a way to do it outside of the zoning code, it's just part of the permit?
I don't believe you could. I believe you would have to go through the process.
To
I think if you
amend
want
the-
to change and to or and one line, you are technically required to go
You
through
do.
that process. So, I think that it would require, well thought out approach. I mean, I'm not suggesting it, not even asking them to pass a motion tonight, so there's any rules. It's needs has arisen within the community, maybe update that to respond to the new needs.
Well, we've talked about looking at the zoning code. We obviously just did it with the solar regulation. Talked about looking at it now, sort of, light of the way things have changed, been looked at, and updated. And so, Shelby, maybe what makes sense is as you're encountering some of these issues, if you can identify what they are, we could put a timeline whereby, whatever issues, give you some time to get in there. 2 months, 60 days, whatever timeline you want to give. Let's see what the issues you've discovered, how maybe we can look at addressing them, if it's through a zoning, change to the zoning code, and then we could do it all at once. As far as the process we're going through now. Because I know one of the things that we looked at when we looked at the zoning regulations was updating the planned unit development portion of the code anyway. Given some of the changes that we've seen and just the way it was drafted many years ago, there are some things that it would be a good idea to look at. So maybe we just set a timeline to sort of do that, and update it, within the next several months.
I'll make it work.
Sure. Yeah, that would be one example that we would wanna address and figure out how we would adjust some. I mean, I think there's certainly methods you could utilize, right? I think your idea of making it a dependent condition, you only get the permit to stay and camper on the property if you have plans and you're starting construction on those plans within 30 days or some kind of period. And then, all of the permits, right? It can't just be. And then we could just do a check after a year, a status check, right?
Well, your challenge in that, making it on county approved plans, is they can't get an approved building plan from the county until they have an approved zoning. They won't process
So
their
you're saying we would have to
application.
issue the permit here at township level before you could get
Well,
a county permit?
we could give,
Right.
we could give the township level to build and make it step two
That's true.
after the county approves everything. That's a step two.
As far as permitting the campus, right?
You guys need to remember one thing though, when people are buying land, just have their own. I know if you've been doing it, but they were,
I think if they go through the site plans, county, stuff, I can draw on.
well, no, I'm not saying that. They're
You're
not
just
building,
saying that
they're not
bringing
building
the
a house.
campus.
Right, that's what we're, make sure we don't have that happen.
Well, you do it however you want, I'm just saying, leave an option open for them to do whatever they want. I mean, if they wanted to buy 20 acres and put their camp on it, have a different option or a different box, it could be that. I know a few that are doing it, and then I know some other people that are doing what they're doing, which are laying skids down and drive on and have a camper live there, and they're building a house 3 years at a time. Just leave the option open, because sometimes people do want to buy property.
If I may ask, I'm a little naive with this. What do they do for water, sewage, and electric? Where's the sewage go? They dumping it outside?
That's a good question.
I mean, that's stuff you gotta think about, because they could be dumping that down into the local creeks and obviously you gotta get permits for water and electric also. They're not just gonna sit out there and run on a generator all day.
We might be one of the situations that Mr. Barrett here is thinking about. He was on our phone a few nights ago. He bought a 15-acre farm on Starling Road. I'm a cancer patient. My husband had 2 heart attacks, and we both were in our late 70s. We parked our RV out there. This being the RV, when it's too hot to get out and cut anymore, trim anymore. We're trying to clear the property so that we can build on it, but that's going to take some time. So I believe you saw, did you not, Mr. Barrett, did you see our trailer is out there on the property?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. And that in itself has caused a myriad of problems. We couldn't even find out what township that was in. It depended on who you talked to. First,
Well, we just, right now, we'll have to do some research into this and figure out.
Yeah, Shelby, I'm happy to talk with you about some of the that we can put together to bring back for a guided discussion on this.
but we have to find out that we are in Tate Township. No matter who we spoke with, the first person might say, well, no, you're in Bethel. But the very next person we talked to would say, no, you're not. No, that's Tate. And we have been fighting that since March. We just found out since he came. Where we were.
Go ahead. Still can't. Sorry. What you get, Shelby?
Well, what it is, it's something we have to look at, like.
Oh, but I'm sorry. I was going to address what he was saying about the sewage. We have water that we bring in. We have tanks on our trailer for the sewage for right now. We have 2 tanks and we can take them into a dump station and dump them or whatever. That's what we will be doing when we're working out there.
Thank you. So as I was saying, I'm sorry, as I was saying, you know, it may be something that requires more discussion with the zoning commission to, you know, in addition to, you know, digging this up. I just, you know, it's a need that's arisen, you know, somebody's already bought land, somebody's looking to buy land, you know, we just need to address it so that it's not just people doing without following a process that we have established, and we can work together as a community to establish that process. So, you know, kind of a shoe into my next topic for discussion, guys, and if this isn't the right forum, feel free to just tell me. For the zoning commission maybe. But, you know, and I think that this next one is more in line with, you know, the zoning commission role anyway, but it's revisiting the topic of what has come to be known as accessory dwelling. Subsidiary dwellings on a temporary to moderately permanent basis that are sidelined to a primary principal residence on the property. This is, you know, mother-in-law apartment, you know, not just a tiny home on a lot, but, you know, somebody's got a, you know, 3,000 square foot house and mom needs a little help, but she doesn't want to live in the house with them, she wants her own space. And we currently prohibit that. Now, obviously that's depending on the health department, sewage question, you know, as well with private septic systems up here, but, you know, it's something that, I mean, I know municipalities, Williamsburg, Village of Williamsburg, for example, approves somebody can convert their 2-car garage into an accessory dwelling. And, you know, it's another need that we have with housing crisis that we're in, you know, people find places to live, home for mom, you know, stuff like that. You know, kids went home for the summer, you know, they need their own space. People have the acreage to pull something like this off. And the knee-jerk reaction on the square footage requirement is what really prohibits that. And then second is having a secondary residence on the property, but it would be an accessory dwelling.
Minimum 1,400 square feet, that is, I don't remember the exact date, but I know an occasion happened when I was a kid in 1979. That's the whole purpose. So I have to watch that because you know, they're going to open up a can of worms.
My issue on that, and the reason I bring up the discussion is Tate Township typical reaction is no to everything. And that is a barrier to progress for us in development. So I bring it just for discussion, you know, with thought. There are needs in the community that we may be able to address through regulation and thought out process as opposed to just saying absolutely not or saying Wild West, have at it. There's a middle ground there that works well for us all of it.
of our half, you're saying is that there needs to be some discussion on whether there's a way that we can permit the draft. That would permit and be flexible enough to address the situation.
Right.
While still being unambiguous enough to guard against what you're talking about, right? And both are fair concerns, right? So it's worth talking about whether that's.
And, you know, part of that conversation is we have some recreational type properties here in the township, yet we don't allow anyone properly, properly with authorization, oversight, and compliance to enjoy that property that they bought for that purpose. And, so we're saying to them, well, you can't buy 100 acres of land and go set up a hunting camp because it's not a primary residence. Well, then why would they buy 130 acres in Tate Township? They'll buy it in Adams County, cheaper. So we have to think about these kind of things as opposed to just saying no.
So,
Yeah, right.
So if they want, in this case, they want to apply. You say, well, if they water tap, and there's no sewer tap, the sewer tap, and they have to have their septic, everything ready. For permanent camper installation. If they're gonna put a camper there, for a new house, and we get the water tap, and the septic, and they can use all that for the camper. Different regulations for whatever their claiming it is. If it's temporary, you can have holding tank. If it's permanent, they want to keep it there forever, they have to have their septic.
A lot of times that stuff comes part of that is just.
the issue, I want to clarify, we have some in there right now that they're listed grandfathered in.
Yeah, they are.
But I don't think that they will be issue a board tank.
Well,
Maybe they won't.
if I may, as we've seen, we are served better as a community by responding to developing needs as opposed to keeping our head in the ground, acting like we're. And secondly, let's have a discussion, bring these topics forward to the community and get that input as opposed to, just taking that knee-jerk reaction and saying, well, we're just not. Well, there may be a lot of people in the community that would like that. Look at that as well. So I bring it for discussion. Third and final topic I have on this is another zoning need. Request came in regarding modifications to an agricultural building. We do not currently have any permitting process relative to permitting addition to a barn. We have permitting process for addition to a single-family dwelling, but we don't have any process governing additions or modifications to structures that may or may not pre-exist zoning regulations.
It's, my understanding.
They do have a building code. And even if it's an agricultural building, it's still has to comply with building code.
There's no inspections, but you get your own, you do what you want.
We do have
You gotta
set,
look at the county that.
On the whole barns, they'll come in and inspect the foundations.
right, to the county.
Then after that, they would inspect.
For agricultural?
But
Yeah.
if you don't have electric, you
Never
don't
had
need
one.
an inspection or permit.
Never even looked at a hole.
Because Duke will not hook up without a permit.
Well, Duke's got to deal with electric. Electric, the county, they're talking about posts going in the ground.
I'm not talking about a post going in the ground first.
Yeah,
The other thing is the electric.
well, the electrical is totally different. Right. I mean, they never inspect your posts. I think they should, don't they? I put one up in storage. He said, man, what if I do it once? You're done. And I'm like, man.
Now you got, the county, you have to have.
When did they start that? Footers are just posts. Sometimes nobody.
They'll come in and measure, any concrete leaking in, you have to have a whole 550.
I didn't know they
And
started.
it has to have every single pole in it. Over, they will not give you the okay for the building.
When did they start that?
Year and a half ago.
I may have perhaps overstressed for agricultural in that context, because not only is it agricultural building, it is any accessory building.
When the accessory building is a garage, and that's different than agriculture. The garage is going to different section.
Correct. And for the purposes of zoning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again, it's something else we have to.
An accessory building still has to meet setback.
Yeah, we are, exactly right, yeah.
These are
Access-
good points. Good
An
afternoon.
accessory building is still required to meet setback buffer requirements, whereas an agricultural building is not.
So
if somebody wants to put a
Agriculture building.
Yeah, that's why when they do agricultural, they have to come to the township. Therefore, make sure it's setbacks.
So when somebody wants to put another 50 feet on the side of their barn, and it comes up to the property line, I cannot tell them no.
Well, I have a question for you. I just put up a board with them for myself. I did it last year. And I talked to the zoning guy before you. And I said, do I have to keep it like past the back of my house now? He said, no, if it's agricultural, then you put it right out in front yard. You got your permit. But I don't know what you guys are talking about. Agriculture, you're allowed to put that building anywhere you want on the property.
So
There's
I
guidelines.
will
He
review.
told me that, he told me wrong.
You can look at it and I'll show you.
There's guidelines stating the whole one's
Full barn or an agricultural building.
on agricultural.
Then why did he tell me this? Why did he tell me that?
You
Yeah,
need to look at it.
Again,
You need to look at it, read it or something, I need to see what it is. Mine's way back behind it, I don't care, mine's way back behind it. I'm glad I didn't put it up my.
Tear it down tonight.
Yeah, really, cut the posts. That's what he told me.
It was done. Somebody had to tear one down.
That was shocking when he told me that, that was shocking.
That's why I built my barn.
I won't make mine now. I can tell it's not pretty long way.
You better go ahead, you better say what you want to, go right ahead.
Yeah, your good points, and again, that's something we're
Doing
doing,
good.
our zoning book needs to be.
There's what his stomachs are growling.
It doesn't matter, you gotta do
It's
it.
okay, you're
I
gonna
just-
buy everybody dinner.
Well, it's not piece of input.
Oh, I mean, everybody.
I got, we're almost there, I got one more report to go, and then we can get to the public.
He's got one more.
One final thing. Friendly announcement, reminder to the public, permits, they're also protected. So don't see it as a combative approach, because it also is a protection for you when you have permitted projects on your property and the neighbor calls and complains, it's been vetted through the zoning requirements, so it invalidates the neighbor's complaint. So it behooves everyone to follow through and ask zoning questions before they start building something. Have a situation where they have to carry on and move something. Because they just thought they could, whatever, it was a remodel or it was a repair, and somebody complains and find out, well, actually, sorry, it doesn't qualify as that, you have to put it in the box. And then you have to carry on moving. So just a reminder that the permit process is a protection as well as a laborious paperwork.
The property value and all that.
That's all right. If anybody has anything for me, I'm gonna guess probably not.
It's leaving dogs alive, baby.
That was your 5 minutes.
Next, next
Time around
report,
Shelby.
the next report we have is the police report.
We'll keep it short. Responded 108 calls, took 19 reports, served 4 warrants, conducted 22 investigations, closed out 18 reports, and assisted other departments 18 times. Listed the types of calls that were responded to there. See on your sheets, it responded to in the township for the month of June. That's short to the point.
What's those 3 thefts?
Sorry?
The 3 thefts?
The thefts?
Yeah.
We would, I'm
I'm just
sorry.
asking what the, I see there's three, theft tests.
Yeah, just, I don't know in particular what they are.
Okay.
So I know of one of them that I took. That's still under investigation, but yeah.
I'm just seeing Tate Township.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I put them on there just so you can see yourself in comparison to other townships and so forth. Looks like Wayne Township got hit kind of hard. Batavia Township always gets hit hard. We're right there with Monroe Township, Franklin Township. So it's nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing that's certain areas getting hit or anything like that. So. Yep.
All right, on
Yeah.
the, when you assist other departments, about 18, is that 18 calls you assisted?
18 calls, correct. Sorry.
I just wasn't sure if
Yeah.
it was 18 departments, I was like,
No,
wait a second.
no. And that can range from going down to soliciting the village of Felicity, assist the village of Bethel quite frequently. And sometimes I'll respond on the squad run with the fire department or a crash or something where I'm assisting them. So
Thank
that's
you.
where those come from.
All right, let's work,
Yeah, so just a reminder, tomorrow, July 10th, here is the public meeting that the zoning commission is having on solar regulations. So this will be a time for you to come forward, if you have questions, if you have comments, concerns, to speak on those things. The zoning commission will take public comment tomorrow. And, from that point, they're also considering the regulations as well. And they will provide a recommendation along with the Claremont County Planning Department's recommendation, which was issued, on or about June 25th, which did recommend the, adoption of the regulations. So we'll now hear from the community and we'll receive the planning commission's, recommendation, and within 30 days following that, it'll come back to the board. We'll take public comment, we'll discuss it, discuss the recommendations and everything that's happened to this point. And after that, then the board will decide whether to accept the regulations as it is and amend the zoning. So that meeting is tomorrow.
we highly advise you online and look at it, because it is posted.
Yes.
Get familiar with it, because when we have our meeting, we'll be specifically just answering all questions.
There's also paper copies in this room right next to us, if anybody would prefer to look at those. You can't take them, but you can review them and then guess they're online.
What time is the meeting?
7 o'clock, I believe, is that right? Yes, 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock tomorrow.
So are you recommending that we come with our heartfelt thoughts on all this for the last every year?
That's what all about.
It's a public meeting as to the zoning amendment that's been proposed. So all of the regulations, if you have questions about the regulations or concerns about the way things are listed in those regulations, this would be the time to come for your support. If if there's something that you would like considered or what have you, that would be the time to comment on that.
So it's only on the regulations that you presented?
That's the way the meeting is sort of, I think, structured. Whether they'll take comment beyond that, I don't.
It's for just that.
I think it's for that.
It's just for those regulations. That's why we're suggesting get on there, read it, see what's on it. If any questions, want to be kind to them, because they don't have it. Now, a lot of that is put together by we put together, so people put together and plus public input on that, and we are more familiar. So if there are some questions that they are not able to answer in time, and know that we will have a meeting, we will answer those questions.
Yeah, and you're always welcome to reach out to us too. We're happy to talk with anybody that has questions, comments, or thoughts.
any other topics?
Just signed it.
Okay, as of June 28th, 2024, the board adopted resolution 06282024 declaring the necessity of a levy tax excess of the 10 mil limitation. Whereas the Claremont County Auditors has issued a certificate of estimated property tax revenue attached hereto Exhibit A, which provides the following information to the board. The total current tax valuation of the incorporated territory of the township is $2,015,376. $215,376,070.
There you go.
The dollar amount of revenue that would be generated by the specified number of mills for each is $1 of taxable value is specified. Number of mills of 0.4. Dollar amount of revenue generated is $86,150. Again, this is, we've announced it at a couple of meetings here that this is for the continuation of the police levy that is already in effect. It's nothing that we're trying, not another levy we're trying to add on to anybody. This is just a continuation of our sheriff officer Pike.
0.4 mil.
Yes.
That's what it was before. Yep.
How much you getting paid, Pike?
I wish.
Second.
Yes.
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 So that'll go on the ballot in November.
Yes, it will be in a ballot. And again, this is for the people to vote on to renew it. It will be on the ballot in November.
And that's all
We already
this is
signed it.
doing is checking the box to get it on the ballot so that it can be voted upon. It's not permitting it, it's not doing anything other than just getting it on.
Any other topics is we can discuss another time. Great. We have a grant writer that's coming in here for us, and she has some information on some stuff that we qualified for. She cannot make it on our Tuesday night township meetings, because she's obligated to be at another township. So we were trying to get a date, and we'll have to have a special meeting, have her come in here and discuss the, grants that we qualify.
I do, I'm not knowing now.
Okay.
And she didn't agree, she didn't know.
And we will notify everybody that what those dates are.
Just. What I'm gonna check into with the county commissioner tomorrow is it's 2024. We don't have sewer line. No excuse. So I talked to the Tate Water. We do have enough water out of here. We have 6 main water supply. If we go to the end of the township, 222, come up South Canada, that's going to be like 2.4 miles to there. So I'm going to meet with them tomorrow and see if we can get something moving to get some sewer out here. You know, like I said, it's 2024. There's no excuse for you to do it. So I talked with this water research the other day, and they want us to put a planning commission together. And I'm just asking, reaching out to the people in the township, help build up the other day, some people that are a lot smarter than us in this kind of type of business, you know, where they get on board and all this kind of things. This house along South Hamlin, or was it 125? 125. Well, they're so small, once the septic system goes down, there's no secondary system. So they pretty much tear them down with van or walkway. So, and right there at each floor, it's about 1,000 feet away from the top of 125. So there's no reason why we shouldn't have.
I went with commission about 30 years ago, and they said they want to keep 125 degrees. Well, it's time to change. You know, we can't, we don't have no nice restaurants, sit down, there's no infrastructure. We have this, I think, the lady first last week, wanted to build 4 houses. Well, when the bill found out there was no sewer, you won't. So I think something we can all work on as a community.
Well, the township is dry too, you're talking
Well, yeah,
restaurants.
That's,
That's another matter.
For the future.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's, something else.
So, yeah, we get a planning commission together as far as just a group of people and start making those, start doing the stuff that planning people. I think Bill, I talked to him about it. He's doing more than. So, again, it's a step that we're taking and we have to find out. We'll talk to the commission tomorrow, you know, see what their input is.
And if we get the, planning commission together for this, just for the township, for everything, that it, that will also, once we get that in process, we're asking for people to step up, and try to help, because it takes more than just 3 people. It's, and we've talked to some people, I'm gonna put it right on the spot, is, if you guys know if anybody else that can be there, the typical board is 3 to 5 people or something like that, whenever we can make some decisions. That will also qualify us, once we have a plan together, qualify us to get some assistance.
Where are you talking about?
125.
125.
It's old 125 from Eastport Lake entrance, the sewer stops right there. So it's 1 mile down old 125, and then from that station, pump station to the station up by Macedonia Road is 2.4 miles. So that's the section. Yeah. So that's the section we're trying to do. So that way, it will make it more attractive for subdivisions.
And